I'm joined by Patrick Rishe. He's the Sports Business Director at Washington University in St. Louis. Patrick, thanks very much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Sean.
You know, China is still one place where golf has a chance to really grow, and really nothing excites fans like seeing a favorite son do very well. What do you think it's going to mean having someone like Lee come up and making such waves already on the PGA Tour?
Well, not only Lee, but of course on the women's side, the bronze medalist at the 2016 Rio Games, Shen Feng. So it's really critical for the Chinese Golf Association to utilize not only these homegrown players such as Lee and Feng, but also to be creative, think outside the box. How do we sell the sport to younger golfers? And I think one way that you do that is you've got to use social media, digital content, be creative, and think about not only utilizing those two stars, but what sport is popular in China? It's the NBA. And guess who plays golf? Steph Curry. If I were the Chinese Golf Association, I'd be reaching out to people like Steph Curry to do spots and digital and social ads to help bring those fans into the sport of golf in China.
Yeah, and if I was Callaway and Titleist, I'd start feeding him free clubs as quickly as I can. Let's talk about it from the equipment standpoint and how you think that is going in terms of the industry in China. How important is it to have that base there?
Well, it's certainly very important because, again, this is where some of the innovations and technology, and if you can set yourself apart in that respect and be innovative and utilize technology to have some of the better equipment, then that has a great branding appeal for the sport in your country.
Now, you talked about it just a bit ago in terms of Lee and other golfers making a splash in China and really sort of fueling the excitement there. What is it going to take to make it to the next level? You talked about inspiring young people as well, but it's not just enough to have a couple of great golfers.
Well, it's not, and I think, again, I've got a several-step plan. Number one, you've got to reach the young. You've got to do it through social and digital content. But you also have to, again, if I were the Chinese Golf Association, I would reach out to the larger e-commerce providers there, JD.com, Tmall, and get them involved and work with them to help sell merchandise. I think you also, I would very strongly consider trying to develop a relationship with Topgolf. Topgolf has taken off in the United States. You go to any Topgolf in the United States, and it is busy, it is packed, and people that have never played the sport before are doing it. If you have Topgolfs in Beijing and other cities in China, there is no question in my mind they would be unbelievably popular. And then the last part of this, Sean, is how about the resorts? How about attracting international tourists? Most of the resorts in the world, what do they have? They have golf courses. So this is another way to bring at least economic impact to the country by having more resorts with golf courses. You bring in international folks to come to your country.
You know, Patrick, I got a sense you can read my notes because that led right into this next question. You have someone like Jack Nicklaus, who has built 30 golf courses in China, someone that legendary. Arnold Palmer had offices, I believe, in Shanghai and Beijing as well. But golf hasn't taken off. Is it going to be enough for those big names to work with resorts, to develop the courses, to get people out?
Well, I think that's a big part of it, but again, I circle back to the youth, and let's use Tiger Woods since he's the talk of the town, talk of the world right now. In the United States, you didn't have a lot of African-American minorities playing the sport of golf. It took Tiger to really create greater numbers in terms of ratings and young kids playing the sport. And I think in the same way, you go to parts of the world, I'm sure Vijay Singh had a very similar impact on kids in Fiji and the participation of golfers in that country. So I think with Lee, and especially with Lee, because men's golf is more popular, if he can take off and if marketers can find a way to creatively push his brand, and he's got a good, he's got a good look, he's got a great game. I think he is really somebody that if he can grow his game, it's huge, but don't put it all on his shoulders.
Sure.
That's why you develop the youngsters, and then maybe there'll be another Lee 5 years, 10 years from now, and that will help spread the sport to the whole country.
Indeed, and China has that booming social media and a growing middle class. It is right for golf right now. Patrick, I'm sure we'll have you back on to talk more about golf in the future. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Sean.